to do is incorporate our lye. And there are 3 different ways in working with a goat milk soap recipe to incorporate the lye. The first way is incorporate the lye directly into goat milk. The second way is to incorporate lye into water, and at trace add a concentrated canned goat milk. And the third way is to incorporate your lye into water, and at trace add a powdered goat's milk. That part of the water initially has been used to reconstitute the goat's milk. So the way that I like to make the goat's milk soap, and that I feel is the easiest, even for a very first time beginning soap maker to be able to make this soap successfully, is to use the powdered goat's milk. I've done a little research on the internet, and it doesn't seem that very many people are used to using this. My dear friend Gail, who is a good soap maker, she taught me how to make the recipe this way. I've fine-tuned it and changed it to make it my own a little bit, but found that I never had an unsuccessful batch using the recipe this way. So this is the way that I'm going to show you today. It's not the only way to make a goat milk soap recipe. However, in my area, I don't have a free source of goat milk. If you do, then by all means, use the free goat's milk, because that would be a fabulous way to make this soap more economical. But in my area, to buy fresh goat milk is about $4 a quart, so that's very expensive. The canned powdered milk is much less expensive, and if you have goats, it's free. So you can take your choice, but today we're going to learn how to do it using the goat's milk. We're going to work with about 23 ounces of water, and I like to use a little bit of ice in this process because it helps to cool the lye down a little faster. So we've zeroed out our scale with our container on it, and we don't want to use a lot of ice, so I'm going to put some ice in it. This ice has all been filtered through my refrigerator. I always use filtered water, and so is this water here. I'm going to incorporate this so we get about 23 through 16. What we're going to do is move outside because I do not like to mix the lye in my house. I just get a little nervous with that, and I'm also going to put on long sleeves and gloves. So, let's see. Welcome to my backyard. This is where I do all of my lye mixing. I've already measured the water in the house, and it's all ready to go, so I'm going to pour it into my Pyrex container. Then I'm going to take this plastic container, and again, I don't ever mix the lye in the water in plastic. I always use a heat-resistant glass container, but I do measure out my lye in plastic because as long as there's no moisture, it's not going to do anything to that plastic. And I need 4 ounces for this recipe. 14. Okay. I'll wiggle it around a little bit, put it back on there. Still says 14. Extra goes back in the cupboard for the next time. And now, this is where, if you're not using proper ventilation, this whole next process is the part that most people fear the most. It's the part that I feared the most when I first started, and when I saw by watching my friend make soap the first time that it wasn't as scary as what some of the books that you read make it sound to be, then I knew I could do this. So you take your lye, and you want to stand away from it because it's going to be very fumy for a little bit here. But you very slowly incorporate it into the water. You can see the ice cubes are going to start melting rather fast. There's some humidity in the air, and you can tell that some of the lye is starting to stick together. The ice cubes are all gone. There's still some fumes. I can kind of smell them. I actually try not to talk too much while I'm doing this. And breathe facing away. So that's totally incorporated. It's ready to go. After just a couple of minutes, the fumes that are given off will stop emitting from it. It'll be safe to carry it back into the house. So in a couple of minutes, we'll be moving back indoors. There's a little bit of lye granules left in this container. They stuck there due to the humidity in the air. So it's going to be very important when I get back into the house to get that rinsed off right away. And I'll rinse this out with some water and then a little bit of vinegar.